Please remain standing for the national anthem to be sung by Lieutenant John Leary.
Detail, hand, salute.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ready, two.
Thank you, Lieutenant Leary. Please remain standing for the invocation by FDNY Chaplain Ann Cansfield.
Please pray with me. In the FDNY, we know that March 17 is a holy day, but indeed now March 16th is a sacred day. 6 years ago, our beloved member, Yadira Arroyo, gave her life in service to this city. And 6 years might seem like a long time, and yet it seems like yesterday for so many. And so, gracious God, we'd ask that you would be with each of us here as we remember her life and her sacrifice, as we seek to comfort and care for one another. We ask that you would surround her family and her colleagues with your love and your peace, so that we may go and take her memory, and may it be a light in our life, now and always. Amen.
Please retire the colors. Please be seated. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Captain Randy Lee. I want to thank everyone for coming to the 6th Memorial Service Anniversary honoring our fallen member of New York City Fire Department, EMT Yadira Arroyo, lost to us on March 16th, 2017. I would like to welcome all the family members, FDNY members, and elected officials that have joined us today. I would now like to introduce the members of our dais. Chief of EMS, Michael Fields. Chief of Staff, Luis Martinez. Union President, Orrin Brozile. FDNY Chaplain, Ann Cansfield. Representing the Chief of Department, Chief Brian Gorman. We'd also like to give a warm welcome to the Bronx Borough President, Vanessa Gibson. New York State Attorney General, Letitia James. Bronx District Attorney, Darcel Clark. Senior Advisor to the Mayor, Tim Pearson. Station 26 members. Captain Allison Russo's family, Danielle and Kevin. And we are especially honored to have the family of EMT Yadira Arroyo here today. Allie, AJ, David, Rose, Judith, Vanessa, and Jose, as well as several other members and close personal friends. Welcome to you all. At this time, we will hear from the Chief of EMS, Michael Fields.
Hopefully it won't draw away. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome and thank you for joining us for this day of remembrance. I am grateful we can gather in person to honor the memory of Yadira Arroyo and her sacrifice while serving the people of our great city. Yadira is remembered for her unwavering bravery, her empathy, and commitment to the community she served. She inspired her partners and others around her to be better, kinder, and supportive. She consistently provided comfort, care, and compassion to those most in need. Yadira was taken too soon from our lives. However, she is still with us today, remembered as part of a legacy and as an angel. On this anniversary, I relay our condolences. The FDNY will never forget Yadira and will continue to honor her memory. We are forever mindful of Yadira's sacrifice, and in Yadira's name, her fire department brothers and sisters continue to make a positive impact on the communities we serve. We are humbled, thankful, and still grieve Yadira's absence. We are forever in debt to her and Yadira's family. With peace in our hearts and a promise in our mind, we shall always honor, appreciate, thank, and celebrate the life of Yadira Arroyo. Yadira, please continue to look over us, continue to be our angel, and bring light to all our members when times are dark. We love and miss you. May you continue to rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Also recognizing, I forgot to mention, I apologize, we have Valerie Vasquez representing the mayor. Next, we will hear from the Bronx Borough President, Vanessa Gibson.
Good afternoon, family, brothers and sisters. On this day, 6 years ago, our lives were forever changed. This borough was forever changed, and the city of New York. On that day, we lost our beloved sister, FDNY EMT Yadira Arroyo, a long-time 14-year veteran of the FDNY, a proud EMT, proud woman, proud Latina, proud mother, proud EMT serving EMS Station 26 in the Morrisania community of our borough, affectionately known as the Tin House. I thank you all for joining us today. While this is a solemn day, it's also a day to continue to reflect and celebrate her life, her legacy, and Yadi's labor of love. The fact that she loved her job. She was called to serve. Yadi knew her assignment in life. She knew what her purpose was, to help others in their greatest hour of need. This day, March 16th, 2023, we join together to remember, to celebrate her life, the meaning, the significance that her life had, and all that she meant to her beloved family in blood and her family in the FDNY and EMS. To each and every one of you that are gathered, to all of our city officials, colleagues in government, to the family, to the EMS 26 family, to the FDNY, I want to recognize her beloved partner and sister, retired EMT Monique Williams. God bless you, sister, in all that you have done and standing strong and being with Yadi on that day. We thank you so much, and we continue to pray for your strength and your healing. Thank you, Sister Monique. And to the family who have become mi familia, I have tried over these 6 years to make sure that Yadi was never forgotten, that she was always uplifted and her light will always shine. And I know this 6 years has not been easy. You have been patient You have been understanding, you have been cooperative, and you have fought the good fight to make sure that justice was achieved. And I am so grateful that we can say justice was achieved. We are going to make sure that Yadi is always remembered. And I want to recognize my colleague and my sister, our Bronx District Attorney, Darcel Clark, for her work in her office and the staff, for walking with the family, for praying with the family, standing with the family, reminding all of you that you are never alone. I know these 6 years have not been easy, but through it all, we have always honored Yadi. We have joined together during Thanksgiving to give out turkeys and food in honor of Yadi. We have celebrated Christmas, Mrs. Claus and Santa Claus. We've dressed up to just show the children of the Bronx who Yadi was. We have renamed Watson Playground right here in her honor so that the children will always know who Yadi Arroyo was, because she was about children. She was about elevating the next generation of leaders. And in her 5 sons, her 5 young kings, we will always remember Yadi Arroyo. And so I don't want this day to be a day of sadness. I want it to be a day of reflection, a day of celebration, and honoring a life that was cut far too short. But even in her time on earth, it had meaning and it had significance. And her light will always shine for future EMTs that join our department, that join the distinguished ranks of the FDNY. We do it in her honor. So to the FDNY, to all of our first responders and essential workers, what you do every day matters. And we want to say thank you for your service, for your commitment, your consistency, your dedication, your integrity, your honor, and your labor of love. May we forever remember our beloved sister, Yadira Arroyo. Her light will always shine here in the Bronx and in the entire city, and we will always walk with this family. So to David, to Ali, to Vanessa, and to each and every one of you, I love you as my family, and I will always be here to celebrate Yadi, to uplift her, and to make sure that that light never dims. That light will always light for the next generation of leaders. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for loving Yadi the way you have. To all of her friends and colleagues and partners, those of you that served with her, thank you. Thank you for loving our sister as she deserved to be loved as a child of God and as a public servant in our borough and in our great city. May God bless her soul. May God bless her family. And may God bless the great borough of the Bronx and our great city of New York. To God be all the glory. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Borough President Gibson. Also on the dais, we're going to recognize Dr. Kwame Cooper as well. Please. Next, we will hear from Bronx District Attorney Darcel Clark.
I'm clumsy too, so we gotta make sure. I don't want to embarrass myself. But. Good afternoon, everyone. What a joyous occasion. And like it was said, this is not a moment of sadness. This is a moment of celebration to remember the life and legacy of Yadira Arroyo, a shero, a woman who gave her life in service for others. The very person that she was out there trying to protect is the one that took her life. And on March 16, 2017, and when this happened, and this case came to my office, I promised this city, I promised this department, and I promised this family that I would stand with you no matter what, and that we would get justice for Yadi. And last week, we got that justice for Yadi. And I want to thank the people in my office that were responsible for that. And they're here today, the 2 prosecutors, George Tominski and Mike Scordine, who never left the family. They convinced that jury. They convinced that jury that this was the right thing to do. Murder in the first degree. That's what he committed. And Evelyn Tirado from my Crime Victims Assistance Bureau, who also has stand with this family. And again, this is not going to end here. It didn't end with the trial. It's not going to end when we have the sentencing on April 5th, when I ask for life in prison without parole. This is a relationship that's going to last forever. And for this family, AJ and Ali, you have been there for my office. But most importantly, you've been there for others because you've taken your pain and turned it into purpose. Monique, we couldn't have made the case if you didn't stand up and be there for us. So God bless you. And we will continue to pray for you. And my office is there for you as well. And now this family is able to be there for others. So the Russo family is here now, who also suffered a tragic loss as well. Another gallant Shiro who stood there in service and life was taken too soon. So this is the work that we do every day. And when I get justice for a family like this, this is why I do the work that I do each and every day, so that we could stand up in victories like this to make sure that this city is protected. Thank you to the FDNY for serving every day. When people are running out of places, you guys are running in. EMTs, when people are hurting and they need help, you are there to assist and nothing more. And that is service. And that's what this city is about. And that's what you all are about. It's not about self. It's about service and sacrifice. So I thank you all for the work that you do each and every day on behalf of protecting and serving the people of the Bronx and the city of New York. And to Yadi, happy Women's History Day, because you're a history maker in and of yourself. I celebrated her earlier today at a Women's History Month program. Thank you so much for your service and sacrifice. Yadi, rest in power. God bless.
Thank you, District Attorney Clark. Next, we'll hear from the New York State Attorney General, Letitia James.
I am so glad that we have EMS here today in FDNY, because this stage is narrow and I am not. To the Russo family, to Monique, and to the Arroyo family, it's an honor and a privilege to be with you. You know, yesterday was cold, right? It was windy. We were all shivering. Today it's kind of warm and the sun is out. That's Yadi. And the sun is kissing our skin. Thank you, Yadi, for this beautiful day. Yes. And I'm honored to be with all of you today as we remember a great public servant, as we join together, not in grief, but in joy, as we celebrate her life. We can take some small solace that the perpetrator of this heinous crime has been brought to justice. And again, I want to thank our great District Attorney, Darcel Clark, and her team for their steadfast support and their tenacious work in holding the killer of Yadi responsible. Thank you so much. Each and every day, all I do is fight for justice, and I know you do the same in the Bronx District Attorney's Office. And so all of the constituents of the great city of New York are beholden to all that you do. And on behalf of the Arroyo family and to the prosecutors and to my good friend Darcel Clark, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Justice was swift and sweet. 6 years is a long time, an excruciating long time for the family and for friends and for colleagues. But in the end, the verdict was correct, and that's because we had a star witness, someone who was not afraid and walked up there and testified. And we as citizens of this city got justice. Thank you, Monique, for being brave and telling what happened, and not for backing down and looking him right in the eye and telling the story. The wheels of justice sometimes grind slowly, but ultimately they prevail. And it is my hope that this conviction sends a strong message to all those out there that our city stands by our heroic public servants, especially our EMTs, and that violence will not be tolerated, not in this city and not in this state. And if you do commit any violence, you will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. New York's, yes, a round of applause for that. New York's best, they save and they help save lives. And unfortunately, as we have seen, they put their lives on the line each and every day. The verdict holding EMT Arroyo's killer responsible for his vile actions won't bring her back. But hopefully it will bring a measure of comfort to her 5 motherless sons and other family members still grieving from such an unimaginable and senseless loss of life. Let us use this vigil. Let us use this day to recommit ourselves to standing strong with our public servants, especially those who put themselves in harm's way to serve others. And let me also go on to say that EMT members should be treated as uniform first responders and not civilian workers. It's about pay parity. It's about treating them with respect. Not on the day of a tragedy, not during COVID, but all year round, they deserve to be paid the same as first responders. And that's the only way. That's the only way, or one of the ways, that we really can honor EMT Arroyo and join together to remember that she really is a hero. We just can't talk about it, but we've got to put some meaning behind it. And it's really critically important that we correct this disparity that continues to exist, which unfortunately affects a significant number of women and women of color in particular. And so we've got to do it. We can do it. We must do it. We've got to do it in honor of Yadi. And I thank all of you for this opportunity to be with you for this occasion, yet deeply important event. Let's not forget her when we leave here today. Let's remember her, but let us continue to fight for justice for her, not only in terms of the conviction of the individual who is responsible for this, but in terms of the money that they bring home each and every day. Let her memory be a blessing, a source of comfort and an inspiration, but let us continue to leave here and move out with the message that these EMT workers should be paid their worth, and they should be paid the same as members of FDNY, so that all of us can be treated as public servants. God bless you and thank you.
Thank you, Attorney General James. Next, we'll hear from Local 2507 President for the Uniform EMTs, Paramedics, and Fire Inspectors Union President Oren Brazile. Oh, he's right there.
Good afternoon. I also want to take a few minutes and thank those who are among us. My predecessor is here today. He has been connected to the family as well. His name is Israel Miranda, and he attends every ceremony. He travels from Puerto Rico to make it here for all the events. So thank you, Izzy, for coming here. When I first called Letitia James' office, there was no hesitation. She promised to be here, and she made it. Thank you. To the Bronx DAs, I can't thank you enough for the work you've done. Garcelle, thank you. Six years ago, we lost a beacon of hope in our EMS family. Yadira Arroyo embodied compassion and dedication both to her family and in her work as an EMT. To this day, she continues to light a fire in all of us to be better people. Her life and commitment to serving the city and her family will never be forgotten and is a testament for her extraordinary kindness. Even years later, we remember her character and the way she touched each of us. We have held several vigils for Yadira in the past, and this one certainly signifies that light at the end of the tunnel we have been waiting for. For each year since the anniversary of her passing, there has been lingering shadow from the lack of justice in her case. But now we can breathe at last, knowing that justice has been rightfully served. Her memory as a mother, daughter, sister, friend, and dedicated public servant is why we will continue to honor her in the hopes that we too can share the same kind-heartedness she showed us. May God continue to bless the Arroyo family. May God continue to bless the FDNY.
Thank you, Orrin. We will now hear from EMT Yadira Arroyo's family. Please welcome to the stage EMT Arroyo's aunt, Ali Acevedo Hernandez.
The family of beloved EMT Yadira Arroyo are extending our most heartfelt gratitude to everyone in attendance here today at this meaningful event, like you have done for the past 6 years, to recognize and honor our beloved Yadira. This vigil is a remembrance of a life that has been lost, but it's also a celebration to honor her legacy. Our journey began with a single step. It became a movement. And although each one of us has traveled different paths somehow along the way, we all find ourselves here today, standing in unity as one, bonded by grief and love for one purpose, Yadi. I remember 6 years ago on her first year anniversary, and I remember speaking about the culmination of the proceedings and the final homage that was being given to Yadi. I remember feeling very sad, and I was very scared, awaiting for the next chapter in our lives. I felt that in time, people will move on because other things took precedence. The accolades and the recognitions will subside. The lights of the camera will dwindle. The pipes, the horns, and the drums will be silenced. And in time, this will be a distant memory. And I asked myself, how do I defy the silence that sets in when our hearts are in such turmoil? It was like the quietness of a peaceful storm. Today, you proved me wrong. You're still here. The pipes and the drums did not silence. The lights of the camera did not dwindle. The accolades continue. Her legacy lives on. We lost one of our soldiers 6 years ago today at this location. She was the third woman and the 8th member of the FDNY EMS to make the ultimate sacrifice. But today, I would also like to recognize another courageous woman whose life was lost in an unprovoked attack on September 29, Lieutenant Allison Russo. Her family is here today, and despite their immeasurable grief, they are here with us to pay tribute to our beloved Yadi. They are in the beginning of their journey. We are almost at the end of ours as it relates to the long-awaited justice. You're not alone in this painful journey. Look around you. All these people started as strangers and became family. We feel your pain. We will continue to pray for you, and we stand by you. Throughout our journey, we have encountered many challenges that alluded to the fact that we may not get the outcome that we were hoping for. There is a quote about the justice system that says, "The wheels of justice turn slowly, but grind exceedingly fine." Last week, we witnessed an event of enduring significance, a monumental history for the EMS first responders. I believe that this is the first time and the first case in which a charge of first-degree murder was applied to convict a defendant who murdered our EMS first responder. This victory is not only for the immediate family, it's also yours. The message was loud and clear. You're free to choose, but you're not free from the consequences of your choices. This is a validation that EMS are valued. You matter. We acknowledge your sacrifices and we honor you. Thank you for always being there for your community and for being there for us as you were there for Jari at the end of her watch. We feel so blessed to be part of a family where I am surrounded by blue angels. Although today I am closing a chapter, this is not the end of Jari's story. There is a blank page waiting to be written. Let's start that page by writing about the most unprecedented event that happened last week, and that is justice prevailed. God gave us 44 years of Jari. It might not seem like a lot, but there is so much to her to be joyful for. She's no longer here physically, but we live by faith and not by sight. And I know that she left deep imprints in our hearts. I thought that by now I would have been in the last stages of grief, but I am not. I will always grieve for her. I will always miss her. I will always love her. I don't want Jari to be remembered only by the events of Thursday, March 16, 2017, but instead how she lived her life. I want Jari not to be the darkness in your heart, but the light that will forever shine. Let's start by celebrating her life. Lastly, I want to take a moment to recognize and acknowledge some people from my endless list that outshine in their greatness and were very instrumental in our journey. My family, especially my husband AJ, my brother David, my daughter Vanessa. Thank you for being my rock and my anchor. You kept me grounded and helped me when I was at my weakest. The FDNY, especially Evelyn Tesoriero from the Family Assistance Unit. I lovingly call her my BFF. She embraced me during the most difficult time of my life, always giving us guidance from the first day and still leading the way. Chaplain Ann Cansfield, our faith was tested repeatedly, and your prayers gave us the resilience to remain hopeful in the face of adversity. Evelyn Trinidad, Eric Sawyers from the Crime Victims Unit, always standing guard by us and for us. Priscilla Taveras, my greatest advocate. William Rivera from the Community Board 9. His support and his commitment to the cause and to us speaks volumes about his characters. I could always count on him to make things happen. Our Bronx Borough President, Vanessa Gibson, thank you for your unwavering support and your commitment. The Union President, Oren Versilla, the board members, Sammy Gooden, John Rugen, and our past Union President, Izzy Miranda. Thank you for always being there, supporting us in every way. Our District Attorney, Darcel Clark. We will always be indebted to you because despite your position in the judicial system, you reveal to us the best side of you. Your humility, your compassion, your integrity, your leadership. Those virtues give us the strength and endurance to go on. Our Assistant District Attorneys, George Sumiski and Michael Scordini, the dynamic duo, who persevere through the many obstacles and countless challenges. They did an exceptional job. We could not have asked for a better team. The police, thank you for your presence and your protection. The media, thank you for keeping the story alive, for giving meaning to her legacy, for shining the light and keeping the fire never to be extinguished. To Monique, you will always be in my heart. I always think of you and I pray for you because I know I could feel your pain, but if there is one thing that you could think is that Jari loved you, and for that we love you and we stand by you. And thank you for being there for us because it was your testimony that sealed his fate. And thank you so much. And to my friends and co-workers and to all of you, you became the catalyst that transformed our existence. We found the support that we needed, and during our struggles, you were the beacon of hope and the light in my darkest hours. Thank you for your resilience, your commitment, your solidarity, your unwavering love. I have reclaimed my life from the lowest points imaginable, and I am filled with gratitude to each one of you. You have been a blessing in my life. I thank you all for recognizing her life and her service, and for being part of my story and our journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Acevedo Hernandez. At this time, I'm going to invite back to the center stage Chaplain Ann Cansfield, as well as Allie, AJ, Judith, Vanessa, Jose, and David.
And he's going to say the candles. Is Dan going to say the candles? Dan is going to say something else? This is the candle of tears. I light this candle of tears representing the first year of her passing. As I reflect on her life, my heart aches with sadness, with the realization that you're no longer with us. The flames represent the burning, searing pain that was felt by the absence of your presence. May the flame of this candle be the guiding light in the darkness and the spark that will remind us of the love that will forever burn in our hearts.
Candle of resilience, asking for strength to journey on. I light this candle, resilience representing the sixth year, of her passing. With this candle, we are asking for strength and endurance to journey on and to be able to withstand difficulties and recover from misfortune and adversity.
Candle of humanity, restoration of our faith. I light this candle in the spirit of humanity. It represents the third year of her passing and is dedicated to the dignitaries, the media, the community, and all first responders. Your love, support, kindness has restored our faith and spirit of humanity. Thank you.
The candle of enlightenment, to rebuild and renew our souls. I light this candle of enlightenment to mark the fourth year of her passing, to shine light into darkness, to rebuild and renew our souls, to feel love, not hate, to have wisdom, not ignorance, and to develop spiritual insightfulness, and to lead the way. Thank you.
Candle of hope, restoring our faith. I light this candle of hope to mark the fifth year of her passing. To have hope, we must have faith. To keep the faith, you must believe, and I believed that the wheels of justice will prevail, and it did.
Candle of remembrance, a celebration of life. I light this candle of remembrance to mark the 6th year of Yadi's passing as a symbol of endurance, hope, and spiritual transformation, and also as a reminder to the fragility of life. Today we ask the Almighty God to allow our souls to rediscover peacefulness and to begin the healing process by remembering not just how Yadi died, but how she lived her life.
Please join me in a moment of silence.
Detail 10, hut! Hand, salute!
At this time, I'd like to introduce Priscilla Taveras as she comes to the stage.
As we release these doves, a symbol of peace, hope, and reconciliation, we remember love given and received. These doves will now soar home to be embraced by God's love and receive the grace of his external protective care. May the soul of our beloved departed Yadira Arroyo soar into the heavens on the wings of a dove, to be placed gently in the gates of heaven and be gracefully received by the Holy Spirit.
Troubles come and my heart burden be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. Stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be.
We will now hear from Fire Commissioner Laura Kavanaugh.
I know that everybody here already knows the extraordinary life of Yadira Arroyo, her 14 years of service to the city, the extraordinary bravery she showed every day that she showed up to these 911 calls, including to the very moment she was killed. But what I really want her fire department family to know and her biological family to know is that every time I talk to you guys, it is no surprise to me that she was so filled with bravery and love and life, because I see that in you guys. And it's really something to go through the grief you've gone through every day for the last 6 years and not only put one foot in front of the other, but in fact show up so holy to memorialize her that she sometimes feels like she's still here. It feels like her memory really is with us at every second. That's a testament to you. It's clearly how she became the person she became, because she came from a family with love and life and laughter, and she found one in the fire department, and that legacy continued. So I want to, memorialize her today to say that we will never forget, but also that we can't forget. It's simply not possible. She was too great of a person, and you guys carry on her memory far too well, and carry it on with so much love and life that I actually just want to say thank you. Thank you for doing that for us, for her, for yourselves, and for the whole city. We are forever grateful, and we will never forget her.
Please rise for the benediction by Chaplain Ann Cansfield.
Last week, after the verdict came in, there was a press conference. And I am confident that they chose the location of this in front of the courthouse because the area was so quiet and serene. I'm being sarcastic. It was loud. There were sirens, there were buses, and then there were middle school children who had just gotten out of school. And this pack of them came and clearly were very interested in what was going on, but they were 12, and so they were also really loud, being 12-year-olds. And I recognize this behavior in my own self because I am basically a loud 12-year-old, and I also have a loud 12-year-old, and so I first started to try to interact with them with the mom look of shame. But that did not deter them, of course, because why would it? They don't know what's going on. And then my better self came and went and talked to them. Said, hey guys, let me explain what's going on here. And I told them the story of Yadi. And it was just as you were speaking, Allie, that this was going on. The most amazing thing happened. One of these loud, obnoxious 12-year-olds stopped in her tracks and gave me a hug. And as I reflected on this, half of their life has been lived in this time, probably. And yet when they heard the story, their first response was to share a hug. And they said, thank you. And then they moved out a little. They were very quiet, so respectful. They moved like 20 feet, and then they started being loud and obnoxious again. And I think that that's the way I would hope we would all respond. With a love, with a hug, with appreciation, and then with going on to live a joyful life full of hope and being young at heart again. So as we depart one from the other, may you be blessed. May you be blessed with many hugs. Hugs to receive and hugs to give. May you depart full of joy. May you not be afraid to be your full self in this world, and may you know that God is blessing you and keeping you safe now and always. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Fire Commissioner and other members of the dais, we want to thank you for attending today's very special ceremony. What a terrific show of love for our fallen sister, Emergency Medical Technician Yadira Arroyo. Rest assured, none of us will ever forget her. This concludes the ceremony. Thank you again. Have a wonderful day.